Welcome to Creating Connections podcast, episode number 96. I am Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Bursting the bubble of your unknown. That is words of wisdom and knowledge dropped on today's podcast with a good friend of mine, a mentor to me in the business world, Rock the House CEO and founder, Matt Radicelli.
Someone who we have mentioned many times on this show.
Keep listening for lots of nuggets from Matt.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
Oh, I like your background that you have right now. It makes me feel special. I feel loved.
Welcome to Creating Connections podcast, episode number 96. I am Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
I'm Certified Personality Trainer Vicki Musney.
And today we have a rock star guest with us, a man that I have looked up to for several years here now. He is the CEO and founder of Rock the House out of Cleveland, Ohio. Please welcome Matt Radicelli.
Matt, I'm so excited to have you on the show. We have talked about you so many different episodes. Your name has come up in different conversations. That I don't know why it took us so long to we really should schedule Matt to be a guest on the show for how often we talk about him. So yes. I'm really glad that you're here today.
Thank you very much for having me, to both of you.
Yeah. Now, I know that Mitch has known you even longer than I have, but a lot of our listeners may not know you. Could you just give us a brief introduction to you, who you are, tell us your story, how you got in the business, where you live, what your business does? I know you have multiple services. So yeah, just kind of the mini version of your story.
Okay, well, I'll give you the super abbreviated version. Started DJing when I was 7. Parents got divorced, kept DJing, went through high school, decided not to go to college, started a little company called Rock the House. Things sort of exploded, and 17 years later, here we are. So I'm the founder and CEO of the Rock House family of companies. It's really comprised of 3 main brands that are broken off into 5 different divisions. We do about 1,800 events a year, and I am still, the visionary. I still perform occasionally. I do sales, lots of operation. Like you guys, I speak occasionally. Well, I speak occasionally. You guys speak all the time. That's the super abbreviated version. There's lots of other.
That was very, very abbreviated.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
can we just go back to the very first thing you said?
That Mitch and Vicki are awesome, or what?
Well, besides that, no, I meant the part about how you started when you were 7.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like I want a little bit more of that story.
Okay. So in 1986, my mom and my dad ran a nightclub, and my dad was the maintenance man and the DJ, and my mom was the controller and the bartender. So after school, sort of babysitters weren't a thing, and I would end up at the club. My sister would drop me off and pick me up after track, and I would sit there in the corner or in the booth and do my homework. And sort of my ability to press play on a turntable or on a cassette deck happened when my dad was like, "Hey, I'm going to go to the restroom. Can you start this thing?" And it just sort of blossomed into me actually understanding how to play music. And it was all vinyl at the time, rarely cassette tapes. And it was only a cassette tape because you didn't have the vinyl. Like, it wasn't like you were mixing with cassettes like Mitch does. And, it was really just a learning experience. And from the time I was like till 7 to 11-ish, I was Matt Flash, the world's youngest DJ. Not that I was actually the world's youngest, like I had no idea, but they made a brand around it, and I had t-shirts, and it was kind of crazy, but.
That's awesome. No, I knew there was a story there, but you just kind of brushed over that so quickly the first time, because you probably tell it a lot, but for people that haven't heard it, that's a fun story. You're talking about literally growing up in the business.
Matt Flash.
And my dad's name was Jack Flash. So
nice.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. So Matt, tell us, this is Creating Connections for Event Pros, and obviously Rock the House, you said, has 3 different divisions with.
I think you said 5. Did you say 5 or 3?
Well, it's actually 3 different companies. There's Rock the House.
Okay.
Selective Sound, which Rock the House acquired in 2010, and then Zone Entertainment, which Rock the House acquired in 2013.
Okay.
So those two brands are still fully intact. We did not acquire them with the expectation of ripping them apart or assimilating them. Rock the House, though, has evolved into a couple other spinoffs, RTH Weddings and Rock the House Audiovisual. So when you add those up and then sort of expand it outside of Rock the House Entertainment, it's like we're running 5 separate companies because that's how they're currently marketed. And then those companies, as all of us know, at least those of us that are in entertainment and production, they have a lot of commonalities, audio, video, lighting, staging, extra entertainment, and all of those things cascade across all 5 of those brands.
Okay. That's what I was going to say, because weddings seems to be like the common theme among most of our viewers and our listeners, is that we're all in some capacity in the wedding industry. Mm-hmm. So you do wedding, if you're just talking just the wedding part, you do entertainment, sound, lighting, staging, production.
Absolutely.
Video, photography.
By volume, no. We do videography. We do not do photography. That's a good point. However, our photo booth portion of the business is second only to the production side as far as revenue generation. So photo booths do very well for us.
Okay. Now, I just want people that are listening to know, that you have experience in a lot of those different areas, because we do have a broad.
We have a little bit of experience with weddings, yes.
A little bit. I love it.
Just a bit.
Okay. Sorry, Mitch.
It's all
Mitch
good.
started to ask a question. Go ahead.
So Matt, since you're managing essentially 5 different companies and the CEO visionary for those, how are connections important to your organizations, to those 5 entities?
Earlier today, I was working with Amy from Rock the House. She happens to be my executive assistant, but she also does so much more for the company. We're working on a nomination form for a local publication called Smart Business, which I think is national. There's one in other cities too. But,
sure.
It was about culture. They're doing an event called Smart Culture, and we're writing our nomination form. And it was so timely because 2 or 3 of the touch points that I put in there have to do with creating meaningful, lasting connections that were in there about our culture. So the connections that we build within the brands and outside the brands, they really help. I would say me, you said you're a visionary leader. Yeah, I'm the visionary. I'm the guy at the top. But if you ask Jeff Dick, who's the president of Zone, or JR, who's the president of Selective Sound, they are the ones that drive when it comes to those brands. So at Rock the House, you guys probably know lots of company owners that are really deep into micromanagement and have to have their nose in everything. Guys, I have no idea what happens most of the time at Rock the House, but I do know what it is that happens on a daily basis that I need to know, or that the team needs me to be aware, or that I need to participate in. But that wouldn't be possible, to bring this back to your question, without meaningful connections and without the trust that comes with meaningful connections.
Did you just sort of always know that, or did you have to learn the hard way, like some of us? Have you always run your company with that approach and that mindset?
No, I think that it really comes to interviews like this are what make it come together, and you have a bit of an epiphany, because I'm trying to answer a question that you're asking, and it's like, okay, well, I just filled out this form and it was about culture, and guess what? We didn't set out to create the culture. That was actually the first paragraph on the sheet that I sent. And Mitch, I sent it to you, so you might have it.
Okay.
It's like the first bullet point says, it's amazing because to the rest of the world, our culture at Rock the House is a mystery. And isn't that how it is sometimes? We look at the companies that we look up to and go, how the heck did they accomplish that? And it's no different. We look at it the same way. But when we add up and we put in bullet format all the things that people like yourselves, in this interview might go, hey, can you explain to us what that program is that you did? Your photo contest, your scratch cards, your bell,
sure.
Where did those things come from? Most of the time with a good team, it's just that they happen organically. And that with good people come good things, and from good things, more good things are born. So no, it did not start like that. And it's only with a question that you're asking me now that I can say that, is it the chicken or the egg? I'm not sure.
So you mentioned earlier about you don't really know necessarily, exactly what's going on and micromanaging and that kind of thing. How did you foster the trust between yourself and Jeff and, Selective Sound and JR? How did that happen?
Well, those are probably a lot easier than the infancy of what happened at Rock the House. Okay. So Ryan Konikoff is the COO of Rock the House, and Steve is the CFO. And Jeff Kutz is the VP of Sales. So these three guys and myself have been in business together for a long time. And I venture to say they're my partners. They're my partners in crime, inside and out. So when you're looking at what's the best way to put it? You got to let the people around you make mistakes, not because they know they're going to make mistakes, but because it's the right thing to do. Right? Not everyone knows that. Now, if Ryan were sitting here next to me, he would tell you that there's tons of things that are stopped, that are stalled out because Matt can't make a decision or it hasn't come to fruition yet, right? So you might define that as micromanagement to your point. I say that there are just some things I'm not ready to decide on yet. Company branding is a huge one. Like we probably had a 2-year wait on silk screening our flight cases, because I couldn't make a decision about the brand. We have a brand identity crisis, essentially, with all these different freaking brands.
I can see how that would be a challenge.
And finally, we made these really fun shirts for our technical staff for, must have been mid-November. We had a technical alignment meeting with our project managers on the Rock House AV side. And we got them gas station shirts that have a Rock the House patch, and then it has a patch over here and it says Matt on it. And Ryan knew. He said straight up, you're going to contact Cintas, you're going to order them, you're going to approve them, and you're going to place the order. Here's everybody's sizes, and here's their names spelled properly. Go make it happen. It's odd because he's essentially delegating this thing that I should not be anywhere near.
Right.
I knew that if it were in anybody else's hands, it would never have gotten done, because I never would have allowed it to continue, because I would have said, you got a half inch down, wrong color, blah, blah, blah. So, was it always that way? No, but there's so many other things, though. And I just had this conversation with Amy yesterday, too. We take for granted within our walls that the style of management and empowerment that happens within our company is not typical. It is not typical where somebody in any division of a company has the empowerment to make the decisions that they need to for our internal and external customers. And it's not that I don't know what's going on, it's that I don't need to know what's going on, because every one of our people has our back. And they make mistakes. I got tons of stories, Just talking to Mitch earlier this week about some crazy stuff that happened this week and last week. And stuff happens, people. Stuff happens.
Yeah. So go ahead, Vicki.
I just want to make sure we get to like some really, really practical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And within the theme of creating connections, we spend a lot of time talking about creating connections with clients, and we deal with a lot of sales stuff. We talk about creating connections with colleagues, and we kind of talk about how your company affects, and works with other companies, if you're working on an event, collaborating. But I think with you, I really want to hit on just one level deeper, or maybe a little more on the practical side, is the creating connections within your own team. How do you, can you just, I know it's a big topic for a short interview, but how do you suggest that people that are looking to either start hiring, or maybe they already have a team and they want to identify their company culture or do some team building and make sure that they're doing what they can to foster those kind of relationships and that level of trust? Is there any advice that you can give us or that you can speak to on that?
Well, I'll speak to an experience share side of it, rather than advice, because I don't think there's a one size fits all approach. Mm-hmm. When you're hiring, bringing on the people that you're most comfortable with, if you believe that you may embody, the cultural or connections, or just the being, who you are. If you can sort of bring those types of people on board one at a time, very natural things begin to evolve. Now, once you have the right people, okay, because it's a really important thing for making the cake, and making it come out right. We have these meetings called general sessions that I talk about, occasionally. And I pointed out in this other document I was working on today that general session, oddly, is a management tactic. It's a strategy of saying, hey, let's get together once a week. And I won't skip over it, because then it sort of loses its context. But rather than letting somebody knock on the door, every day and say, hey, do you have a minute? We try to encourage our people at the office to wait to the meeting that they have with their superior, or, their supervisor, to a weekly or bi-weekly meeting. Okay. And that meeting is designed to have an agenda, and we use a software application. It's really simple. It's really light and airy, called Wunderlist. And they put all the stuff in there, and both people know what's coming in the meeting. We sort of roll through it. So now that you know what a general session is and how often it happens, okay, the point is that in that meeting, we're encouraging our teammates, both the supervisor and the subordinate, to be vulnerable and to be open-minded and speak their mind. That's the time that a subordinate is, and I'm using the terms just so we're clear about who's talking to who.
Sure.
Yes, no, I understand.
Fair enough.
Where a team member can open up to their supervisor and say, hey, I'm really not happy with this thing, or you know what really made me excited? I was really super happy that last week I got to work on that. You know, it made me excited, whatever it is, whether it's positive or negative. And that is what leads to meaningful connections. And that is what leads to a decline in turnover and loyalty, camaraderie. And you can't force feed that. It happens over time. So,
but you are intentionally creating an environment where there's a structure, where by design, you're creating opportunity for people to have those kind of conversations.
I think now it's easy to say that. But as I said earlier, the chicken before the egg, or what it is, the meeting was designed to avoid the got-a-minute meetings. It was a management tactic to avoid a loss of efficiency. But now that we're tracking it back, and twice in the last 7 days, in preparation for this podcast and this thing, I'm going, hey, this thing we do is sort of like watering the seeds.
Yeah.
We're growing our people one general session at a time. And I would still say too, everything's got the good and the bad. The general sessions are also sometimes monotonous, but there's a pattern. There's a comfort level with what's happening in there. So that's just one thing.
How do you balance the general sessions with getting things done in the office, Matt? Is it limited to a certain amount of time? Is it, what do you do for balance there?
Well, it used to be general sessions were blocked out for an hour, just because it was straight out of the book. And the book I reference is Traction and Get a Grip. They don't call it general sessions specifically, but they're meetings for one-on-ones and stuff.
Sure.
But you have to make the time. If you talk about a DJ company and it's a multi-op and there's a Monday morning meeting, if there's 4 people at that meeting and 2 of them are on vacation, you still have the meeting. You don't skip it. So it's very important. And I've had 2 of my project managers, Ben and Durfee, our team, when we're sitting down with them and we're talking about what's going on, our 2 guys would say to me in their employee evaluations, I'm trying to think of when this was. It was a while ago, but hey, Matt, it really bothers me when you postpone or cancel our general sessions. And to me, I was thinking, hey, the agenda's empty. We don't have anything to talk about, but it was their time. And it's no different than, hypothetically, our children, being frustrated that they didn't get to spend time on a Sunday afternoon or whatever it is. And so we got a little bit more savvy. And by we, I mean everybody, to say, okay, how much time do we really need? So Mitch, how much time do I need with you on a weekly basis? Was it an hour before? Well, now it's 50 minutes. Why? Because I started realizing I needed 10 minutes to prep and decompress after I had these meetings before I went into the next one, if I was throwing a curveball in one of them. So now those meetings went from 30s and 60s more to like what massage appointments are. It's like 25 minutes and 50.
I don't know what massage appointments are. I have no idea.
Oh, I'm nodding. I'm like, I know what you're talking
about.
We don't have those up here.
But we do also occasionally, just to put it out there, we cancel them when there's nothing to talk about. So if we see that the list is empty inside Wunderlist and we're good, then I'll send a text or email to you. Do you need it? Is it important to you? The time's yours. But if you need the time to go work on that project, I'm good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
One strategy, but I think I got to say right now, it's probably one of the strongest ones that's keeping certain team members together.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. And there's a list of other ones too. Like what's next? What do you want to talk about?
So Matt, we try to keep our podcast relatively short, so we're coming up on a time, and which sucks.
Yeah.
I can sit and talk to you for like hours at least. But I want to touch upon quick your upcoming presentation at Mobile Beat Las Vegas. Can you give us a little bit of insight as to what you're going to be talking about, what we can expect? Yeah,
so last year I was really, really honored to take the stage, open the show, to talk about how to lead, motivate, and manage a rock star team. Mm-hmm. I had a great time. Ryan was nice enough to extend the invitation back this year. This year I'm talking about something that to me is still super important. How is it that you handle your finances? Do you understand how to read and understand financial statements? And by that I mean like a 101 or a 201 level. But the higher level stuff is, what are you doing to manage and measure the things around you? All the way from your inbound leads, your sales conversion rates, customer happiness, efficiency within your warehouse. There's just so many different things that, so many of us business owners, not DJ company owners, business owners, need to manage as we're progressing. Because, man, the bigger we get, and I had to pick the music, but I'm, Mitch, how we pick music before we go on stage. Come on, you're a witty guy. What song do you think I would pick if it's about the bigger you get, the harder it gets? And
you're putting me on the spot here.
I am putting you on the spot, and it's about finances and metrics. You have 5 seconds.
Oh, I'm
The
glad I'm
bigger
not
it
the
gets,
teacher.
the harder it gets. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
More money, more problems.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Seriously?
I know.
Now
Right?
I feel like
So all I'm going to say is, we start off and it's super easy because we go out and DJ these jobs, again, as DJ company owners, and we have a pocket full of cash when we first start. And then we turn around and it's 10 years later and maybe your team's grown, so now it's, instead of it's I, me, and my, it's we, us, and our, and we're together, and where's the money? Well, you're not sure because you don't know how to read your financial statements or potentially keep track of what's really going on. And that's, I'm looking to burst the balloon of unknown and jump into some of that stuff. There you go.
burst the balloon of unknown. That's a seminar title right there. Burst the balloon of unknown.
I just bought the domain 4 seconds ago.
We get some sort of finder's fee on that, I think.
That's a good, a very good visual. Yeah.
It is absolutely.
And
So,
sadly, something I can really relate to.
Matt, any final words of advice for a young entrepreneur that is looking to grow their business, get to know more of those, unknowns that they're searching for at this point?
Go make some mistakes, people. Try it, screw it up, and learn from it. That is the watered down version of what's in one of my seminars, but I know that you like to keep it PG on your show here. So
iTunes censors us, so yeah.
the acronym is TFL, and I will just say that try it, screw it up. There you go, guys.
That's Matt's new TV show.
But don't miss the third point. I think that's, we always say, we have to make mistakes, but then we don't necessarily stop and learn and evaluate the situation and take that really honest look inside and say, what am I supposed to learn from this situation? How did I get here? What can I do different moving forward? So
that's right.
Yeah,
You gotta
I
get
know
out
the
and
acronym is humorous, but it's a full circle. You don't get to skip that last step because it's not fun.
So instead of TRL, it's TFL.
Well, it was I guess. And next time, again, some advice, whenever you're going to come on Mitch and Vicky's show, you need to have a microphone that enters the frame like this.
No, you're blocking my name.
Or else you're out of the play.
My left
So,
note
Yeah,
now.
you're blocking. I love
Vicky
Vicky.
marker
Great.
here to finish the show out. So thank you very much for having me, guys. Really appreciate it.
Matt, you're awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. And we look forward to seeing you at Mobile Beat.
See you guys soon. Can't wait.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, so we're going to be coming up at Mobile Beat. Obviously, we mentioned Matt is speaking at Mobile Beat as well. Some other great friends of ours will be as well. So get your pass at mobilebeatlasvegas.com. If you want to be a fly on the wall in another pros sales meeting and understand how they move the client from start to finish, answered questions, why do they ask that certain thing? Why are they getting really close to me right now? I have no idea. You go to deepdivemblv.eventbrite.com. Get your tickets for our deep dive sales workshop at Mobile Beat. Thank you so much for watching Creating Connections, episode 96. I am Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
I'm certified personality trainer Vicky Musney.
It's been a pleasure to have Matt on the show. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Matt. See you
guys.
later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vicky Musney. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.